It didn't blast our ears this time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Put my face and stuff right here. All right. So as we were saying, we're the CTLA for better or worse. And today we're going to introduce a number of things to you guys. These include Canvas, Respond Us, Turn It In, our services, some of our resources that we have available to you guys. And we'll kind of give you a lowdown on like Canvas, how to navigate it quick. If you have any questions, concerns, problems, hate mail, you can ask at the end or during this whole thing. It'll be recorded just so you know. But are we live? Yes, we're live. Okay. So before we start, are there any questions you guys have concerning the CTLA and maybe your position here at CCC? Not at the moment? No? Go once, twice, thrice? Okay. So if you want to start with the Canvas app.
Yeah, so
And I'll stop
we are starting with the Canvas app just because we've noticed there has been a lot of issues with the technical side of things. So the Canvas app is available for students to use on their phone. And it's seems convenient because you just download this app. They can pull up their courses, check their messages, and do their work on this app, but we don't support it anymore just because we found that it has been nothing but issues. Students have received zeros because they've submitted assignments and it just doesn't go through sometimes on our end, and we don't have admin access to this app. So we've just decided that we are not going to support it. So they can still use their phones if they need to. We're all busy moms doing other things, jobs, whatnot. Just recommend to them that they need to use the browser on their phone, not the app.
And the browser looks something like this. When you log into Canvas, you have a dashboard. And then off to the right, you'll have this atrocious thing called the to-do list. I say it's atrocious because students will click on the to-do list and go nowhere else in your course. So on Thursday, right, we have a to-do list design course. So where you use the to-do list to your advantage and show you how to get students to those modules and to the readings and to videos and all that other good stuff. Another thing about the app is that the due dates will usually be off because the settings, for some reason, the time settings don't match up with what's actually in the browser. So they'll be off by an hour or 2 hours. Sometimes they'll change time zones on that. What we suggest when it comes to the app, if your students use it, you tell them they use it for information use only. So like looking up like the discussion board and seeing what's going on, or announcements, right? Those things, they're not going to change. They're not going to be manipulated by the app that much. And then also communicating with you via the inbox feature. That's it. Okay. I would not encourage them to submit assignments through it or anything that's valuable toward their grade, their final grade. I would always encourage them to use a browser, especially during like finals week. Things get lost, right? And you don't want them to lose something at that crucial time period.
Right.
So,
right.
And now we can go on to Canvas. This is Canvas, as I said before. We have a number of ways to log into Canvas, and we'll show you guys how to do that. But Canvas is a great way to talk to students, to give out grades securely and making sure that you give it to the right person. And more importantly, it's a great place to store information. So let's say and God forbid this happens again, if we have like another COVID incident where we're distance learning again, right? Your Canvas shell can be a great backup to get you into that process. More importantly, if you have students who are out because of COVID, you can refer them back to your Canvas shell, grades, readings, especially external readings, videos, you name it. You can use Canvas for that. Okay. Anything you want to add on the technical side?
There's discussions, there's announcements as well that you guys can use for informational purposes. Are you guys teaching online or Just all in class? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the basics that you can use Canvas for is inbox messaging your students, maybe adding an announcement. If you have documents that you want them to refer back to, you can add those in as well.
And here, let me show you guys these different aspects. So when you open up your Canvas shell, at the first time, it's going to be completely blank. It's not blank in this case because I added this yesterday, so ignore the chill vibes. You can add announcements by going to announcements, and it's as simple as clicking the plus announcement, putting your title of your announcement, type in the body here, and then hitting save. And that pushes it out to all your students. And more importantly, it sends them an email in their CCC email telling them, hey, you got a new announcement. But also what it'll do, I'll show you here quick. Let's do that. Let's do it quick. Blah. Yeah, that's a great announcement, right? All right. So if we go to our dashboard, usually if it's new, since I'm the instructor, it won't show up, but a student, it'll be a new announcement and it'll show up with this megaphone with a number 1 or 2 next to it.
What's an example of something you would use that announcement for?
Let's say like inclement weather. You might do if students are like asking like, hey, do we have class? Do we have class? We're like, oh, you can check rave. So far we're still open, that sort of thing. Let's say you have the same question on content. Like you keep getting the same question on some course content. You can use your announcements to announce like, hey, I noticed you guys are struggling with this bit of the content. Here's a helpful video that I've created for you, and you post it in your announcement that way. You can post in details like an update to your study guides, or maybe your office hours change for the day. Maybe you have an extra office hour and you tell them. This is
Announcement on like if the quiz is coming up,
Yeah.
to remind them.
Or if maybe there's like a problem with an assignment, they're trying to upload it and several people have come in and say, oh, for some reason, Turnitin's not accepting the assignment, and you go and fix it. You can use the announcement to tell the entire class instead of having to go to the inbox every time. I also use it for like check-in as well. So you could do like a check-in question just to see how they're doing, how are you guys doing with XYZ chapter? Any questions? Because then you can take those questions and bring them into your class as well. Announcements can be used almost like a discussion board, like an informal discussion board. They have a lot of tools in that regard as well. So yes, ma'am.
When you post an announcement, it sends an email to them saying you have an announcement. Can they read it there, or do they have to log into?
Usually they can read it there. It'll give them a little snippet. Now, if it's a long announcement, I think it cuts it off after a certain point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So same thing with like if they get a message from the instructor in Canvas, usually give them a thing saying like, hey, you got a message from your instructor, and it'll give you the message. Now, this also assumes that your students are reading their email. Most of the time they read their messages in Canvas. That's why we suggest instructors use Canvas as a point of contact, because students are more likely to open up Canvas than their CCC email. So
This is facts.
yes. And they will send you, once they find out that you actually respond to your messages, you're going to have to set up like a kind of a gentleman's rule, so to speak, like, hey, I don't answer messages after this time. Give me a little bit of time. Just make sure you have that in your syllabus as well. Like usually when I communicate with my students, I say, give me 24 hours. It doesn't usually take that long, but give me at least 24 hours because something may happen. And on the weekends, 48 hours. Right. And the reason why I say that is because it makes sure that your students know that your time is valuable and that they're not messaging you like at all hours of the day and night and in between. Right.
They will.
Because they will. They will. So just remember, set up those ground rules for them and tell them this is what I expect you to follow. And I will respond to you. Just make sure you give me enough time to do so. Because a lot of you guys are teaching a lot of students. So if you're responding quickly to every single student, then there's an expectation that gets set up too with students, and they think, oh, it'll take 5 minutes for them to respond to me. No, maybe not, maybe 2 hours or 12 hours or whatever. So another thing about Canvas, if you need help with various things in Canvas like quizzes, new quizzes, announcements, anything, you can go to this help button right here. It's a question mark. and you just go to Canvas 101. And this is what it looks like when it loads. All right. So it gives you all the mission, vision, and values, along with contact information for the help desk, Starfish, and CTLA. If you hit the start here link, it'll give you everything from like how to get started with Canvas, adding content, managing your course, designing creative activities, and so on. Okay. Each one of these modules has a number of videos that you actually have to log into your O365 account, which is your clovis.edu email address, so you can watch them. And once you do that, you'll be able to watch all the videos from there. That's the only caveat to all that. We also have APA guide that helps with citations in APA. Because we are an APA school, we usually try to have resources for that. We also have resources for proctoring. We have resources for trainings, workshops, you name it. They'll all be located here and on our website, or webpage rather, clovis.edu/FDC. Okay. All right. Respondus, you want to share with them on that one?
Yeah. Respondus is our proctoring service. So if you do want to offer that to your students, they will access lockdown. It's Respondus lockdown browser. So basically what it does, it locks them down into a browser where they can take their exam within Canvas. The Respondus piece of it is the part where it'll actually record them. And so there doesn't have to be like a live proctor there watching them, but they will be recorded. It will flag them if they move their face out of the frame, or if they're like looking at their book when they're not supposed to, or notes, it will flag them. And what it does is it will notify you. You have the option to review those recordings, and you can review the recording and see what they're doing, why they were flagged, and then kind of go from there on your decision on if they were cheating or not. There is also, if you don't want to offer that, they have the testing center here. They do have the option to take their exams there, but that's going to be our go-to proctoring system. And we can dive into that a lot deeper, possibly tomorrow at our workshop, if you guys are interested in that. But that is going to be in their Canvas dashboard, something that they use to take their exams.
So when you go into your course, like she was saying, it'll have Respondus info and lockdown browser in the menu. So to get to that, again, we call this thing a shell, right? So you click into the shell, and then on the left-hand menu, you'll have lockdown browser and Respondus info there. And that will be there to students unless you take it off the navigation pane.
In the Respondus info tab, that is specifically for students. So it is just a walkthrough guide, how to install it, what kind of issues that have been brought up with students, and we've added those common questions towards the bottom. And there is a specific link they can click on to go to the installer to install that software.
And then they always have the option of help desk to help them out. Help desk has hours of operation, which if you don't remember what they are, again, you just go to help, go to Canvas 101, scroll all the way down on that main page, and there's all their information, including their hours of operation, and our hours of operation. And then of course, Starfish, you guys probably heard about. If not, you will soon. Starfish is our early alert system. And again, it's integrated through Canvas, and you can go through Canvas to access it and do your early alerts and all the good stuff. So as you're probably noticing, Canvas is a central part of teaching here. Canvas is where we contact students, where we interact with students on almost a daily basis, and where we set out early alerts, we set up tests, you name it. So Canvas is really important. So if you ever struggle with Canvas, you guys can come to us at the CTLA and we can help you guys out, whether it's, something small like, oh, I don't know how to do this in SpeedGrader, to something large like, hey, how do I design my course in Canvas? Okay.
The help desk, that's also a really important department here. So if you guys do run into technical issues, if say y'all need to check out a device yourself, you don't have a computer like a laptop to take with you. They have a limited amount of laptops, but that's like the go-to department for just basic, reporting issues. So if like you do come across a technical issue, making a ticket is like the first way to get your response. So if you do need assistance, you can make a ticket and they assign the tickets to us or to another department around the campus, and that's the best way to get support.
The other thing we have available to us is something called Turn It In. So you have to create an assignment to do that, to use it. So you name your assignment, put your assignment directions here, maybe your points, and then you use an external tool. And again, you go find, and you go all the way down to Turn It In, wherever it is. Right there. Hit select. And then, of course, you can load it in a new tab. You can do all sorts of stuff. And so when we save and publish it, it'll load this assignment in Turn It In and allow you to set up the ground rules for the Turn It In assignment, right? Which includes maximum grade, start date, end date, all that stuff. Okay.
Can you explain kind of what Turn It In is?
So Turn It In is our plagiarism, I guess you call it checker, although sometimes it fails at that. It is a way to look at similarity between student writing and say writing that's already published. Is the student stealing from this source? So the general rule used to be like, if it's anything over 20%, it's suspect, right? We want students to be 20% or lower. So that's the green area that you see it marked as. Now, if it's in like the 60 percentile, okay, the plagiarism's happening or pretty close to it. If it's like 90% or higher, then you definitely know some plagiarism has happened, and then therefore some action needs to be taken. And so Turn It In is a great tool for papers, any kind of written documents that you want checked, like reports or self-evaluations or anything like that. You'd be surprised, even with self-evaluation, students will try to plagiarize. So
I have a question
yes, ma'am.
before you go off that
Yeah.
page. All right, so did you go off the page where we're setting up the parameters for Turn It In?
Oh yeah, I did, but I can go back. Yeah. If it'll let me. Yes. Okay. I may have to recreate the assignment. Let me try this. Call it 01. External tool, blah, 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 save and publish. If it'll let me. Oh no, I have to get the external tool again. Turn It In, select, save and publish. So there it goes. Okay. So
Okay, so we're gonna go to the additional options.
mhm,
All right, now scroll all the way down.
okay.
Because I check it for everything, grammar, punctuation.
Uh-huh.
everything. But then at the bottom, the similarity of words,
Mhm.
what is a good way to set that?
I'd have to look.
You know, how many words in a row? I don't know if there's a standard.
I'll have to look and see what they suggest. I know when I used it at Eastern, we usually wouldn't mess with all the intricate details like this, and we'd still keep it about 20% similarity, and then start looking and start scrutinizing.
Well, I put it on that
5. Okay.
Because
Okay.
5 words in a row, no child left behind, phrases.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
4 words.
Yeah.
That's okay, 5 words, and haven't had really good luck, but I just had a question.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that is a good
good question.
question. Yeah.
For sure.
I think it depends on the discipline too. Because I'm sure there are some disciplines who have more than 5 words that are common, you know what I mean? And that could run into an issue for some disciplines. But for the most part, I always recommend that you check, even if it says it's 90%, you should always check to make sure, why is it saying it's 90%? What exactly is being flagged?
I do that,
So-
and I even had one with someone that a student wrote for a paper for Greg Rapp last week.
Mhm.
I know, it even told me.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, well, okay.
yeah. It'll even say like, it'll say the college too. It's like, yeah, Clovis Community College and everything else. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. So like if they try to recycle work,
I had 2 semesters ago.
Mm.
And my paper was just like, it was the same question. It was like, I plagiarized myself too much that it flagged me. And I was like, I'm sorry, professor, can I please redo it? She totally let me, but it was like 56%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, how did I even possibly do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Be able to edit their work from Clovis before they ever submit it to them. You can set it so they can resubmit it. But
Yeah.
that's just a tool for them as writers.
Mhm.
So you should be able to edit that.
That was my, like, I couldn't get it.
You're like, I'm using my own words, guys.
Yeah. You can see one that was similar was my paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So.
Should have cited myself.
Okay, let me delete these assignments quick. So are there any questions about anything we've covered so far?
You can go back to the Canvas shell. I have another.
Yeah, I can go back. All right.
A lot of times I create mine in a Word document because I like everything formatted a certain way and all lined up. And then I copy and paste it and put it into Canvas. And it doesn't look like it did on my Word document.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
So
Yeah.
my question is, I tried just creating them in Canvas.
Hmm.
But is there an undo in Canvas? Like you format something, you go, no, I don't like that. Is there a way to just undo it to go back to where it was? Or do you
So,
and then cancel? if you don't
so you
like
mean
it?
like if you bold like
No,
that,
like maybe
you can do Control Z usually, but yeah, you can do the undo.
There's under the edit section, there's the undo, just to go back to what it was previously.
Okay,
And that's
did not-
Control Z.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edit. That's where you do that.
I have spent hours, like.
Oh,
Okay. all right.
Well, another thing too, you can go, if you have any knowledge of HTML, you can go into the HTML and fix it that way too, without having to undo
that's a
everything.
whole new.
But that's a whole
world.
new world for some of you, so. But
And so once we get everything finished, how do we go to and check all of our links? Is there a
Yeah.
button I push? Did you
it's under
do?
settings, isn't it?
Mhm.
You go to settings
Check
and
your-
then validate links in content. Oh, okay, I'll go back.
Okay.
Yep, go to settings at the bottom here.
Oh, here.
And then go over to this right-hand menu. It says validate links in content. And you click that, start link validation. And of course, it's like no broken links found because there are no links in this one. So I'm already successful. So
So if there's a broken link, it'll tell you which one.
yeah, it'll show up in yellow. Yeah. Mhm,
Right.
exactly. It'll show it in yellow and tell you like, hey, go check, look at this page and all that good stuff. So what else do we have on this? So response. Okay. Our areas. Okay, so let me log out here, close this all up. FTC page. Okay. So we have an FTC page besides the Canvas 101. And it looks like this. It's still currently faculty development center, but it's changing to the CTLA slowly but surely. We have everything on our equipment, software, quality matters, starfish resources, trainings that we've done and workshops, particularly this week with handouts and all that other good stuff that you can access here as well. Canvas 101, because we were in Canvas so much, makes it a little bit easier. But if you're off campus and you don't want to go into Canvas, just go to clovis.edu/FDC. And there anything special you want to show them on this one?
Just if you guys do decide to use Canvas, which it's highly recommended, even if you are doing a face-to-face course, the online courses tab that kind of goes over a lot of basic stuff. It has videos, helpful documentation and common questions. And then when we mentioned the lockdown browser, there's the Respondus lockdown browser for our proctoring, we also have a lot of information about that as well. And you can see there's a lot of information. So definitely check that out. And again, that was just on the clovis.edu. If you don't type it in, you can just go up here on this tab. You scroll down and go to faculty development.
And there we are. Okay. And then resources outside of the FDC's webpage, and then Canvas 101. We also have laptops, or actually tablets available to check out to instructors, full-time instructors like you guys.
Are you all full-time? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all will get a laptop checked out
Yeah.
permanently as long as you work here as a full-time faculty member.
Mhm.
You'll get a Surface Book. It's really nice.
And we'll start advertising it in about September once everything kind of settles down. Another thing about these tablets is that they're Microsoft tablets, so they have Windows downloaded on them. They also have the Office software. They have OneDrive, so you can save everything in the cloud and then work on it on campus or at home or wherever you're at. Right?
And an internal camera.
Yep, internal camera. And I'm trying to think what else we have on those. Basically anything you
Just the
need, we
basics.
can, yeah, so you have the basics, but if you need anything else, you can always talk to us and we can add stuff as needed and everything else. So
But we will meet with you guys one-on-one to get you set up on those computers and just kind of go over like how to use them. We'll get your Outlook set up on there so you can have your email, different things like that. So any questions that do come up, we can answer them then. We'll probably, like you said, be sending out an email, and then we'll set up like appointments with you guys to get you set up when y'all are free.
And another thing you guys probably noticed, there was a talk about it in town hall and probably elsewhere as well. Multi-factor authentication is a big deal. So make sure you either have your USB key or your phone on you at all times so that way you can access computers on campus, access your email. Canvas does not require multi-factor authentication yet, but it might in the future. So just be prepared for that. Another thing, when communicating in your email versus in Canvas, there's a little bit of a disconnect. So anybody can email your CCC email, like littlekitten99@gmail.com. And they're like, yeah, I'm a student of yours, and I handed in this paper, blah, blah, blah. You can't really verify their identity unless they send it from a CCC email.net email. The cool thing about Canvas, person has to have their credentials to actually email you, and then you have verification of their name and then that they're in that class, and it's a little more secure. So I would always recommend using Canvas first over email, because then that prevents some FERPA violations that might happen. Another thing, I have messages back, I think almost 2014 in my Canvas inbox, and I can look them up by student name, not by anything else, but by student name. And so that is useful too. So it has like an archive of your conversations with students, and that might be useful, especially if you have a conflict with a student or something comes up. You at least have that paper trail as well. So sometimes an email gets lost, whereas in Canvas, it's a little hard to, I don't think you can really delete in a traditional sense, your messages. So that helps keep things not only private, but also secure, and also there for you for future use. So we also have Pathway. If you're struggling with that, Help Desk can help you with that, along with your email. If you're struggling with email, Help Desk can help you with that. We can help you with things like Canvas. We can help you with things like, hey, how do you set something up in your module, or maybe you're wanting to do a particular activity in your class and you want to record it somehow in Canvas. We can help you guys with that. So we're more of the technical teaching side of things, just so you guys know.
Right.
We do request, if you do come up with a problem, like say SpeedGrader's not working in this particular class, send us a trouble ticket through the help desk in Pathway, which I can show you guys.
Does everyone know how, like, their login credentials for Pathway and, okay, good.
Okay, good. That's good. So we don't have to go over that, but so we can go over the
I was gonna
important
say, 'cause
stuff.
we're not the guys for
Yeah,
that.
no,
The
gonna say
guys and
we're-
ladies.
we're missing a few folks if that's the case. Okay. So when that loads, you guys will see what I've pulled up. So when you go into Pathway, you can go to the Employee tab. Oh, still not. Okay. Just a second. Do. It's taking its time. So this is what I get for turning it off.
It's all your fault.
I know, exactly. There we go. All right, so this is Pathway. So for those of you who are faculty, which is all of you guys, right? You have your faculty tab, then you have your employee tab. Under employee, you have institutional. And over here on the right, you have help desk request forms. If you have a technical issue in Canvas, email, stuff like that, you click here. It'll pull up this very simple form. You put in your full name. It does require a last name. I've tried to give it a BS last name and it called me on it. So just make sure you give a first and last name, an email address, a number like your extension that you have here on campus, your C number, which is on your badge, your employee ID. And then the priority, is it like critical? Is it high, medium, low, whatever? And then describe what's going on. And then you
Don't
hit,
just put, sorry to
yeah, go ahead.
please don't just put I need help. Please
Yes,
don't do that.
that happens a lot, actually. Like people will send like, I need help. And like they'll add extra exclamation points, like it's more important, right? And then hit
Like we
submit.
need information. Anything is helpful.
So be as detailed as possible. That helps us help you all. Okay. And then you hit submit, you will get a copy of this. And then those who are communicating with you, you'll see a chain of emails pop up. So, okay.
Can I ask you a couple?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, some of us had our IDs done yesterday and we did not have C numbers on them. Do we need to
Okay.
have them remade?
No, if they're not on there, what you can do is you go to faculty.
So we also do not have faculty on our pathway.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
So,
have the employee function, but I do not have faculty.
okay, what we can do, we can bring them over to help desk.
yeah. So there's a whole process in the background, right, in IT. So when you guys get like all y'all's paperwork completed, it goes through HR and then it goes through IT. Well, within IT, there's a couple different groups setting up all of your access. So it may have not gotten to that one group just yet. But yeah, I mean, you guys have to have that tab. So
So,
have you guys made it to the help desk yet? Do y'all know where that's at? Yeah,
On here?
no, on
Physically,
campus.
on
the physical-
campus?
No,
no.
we can show you guys that.
Yeah,
It's
we
fine.
can show you after we're done here, just so maybe they can give you guys an update or put a speed on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And if you continue not to see something like say by tomorrow or Thursday, talk to your division chair and your division chair can escalate it from there.
Does
Okay.
it have anything to do with like the paperwork from our orientation that we had yesterday?
It's
Well,
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe give it another day or two. But if you guys don't have it by Friday, then I would go ahead and
Yeah.
let y'all's division chair know.
Exactly. So that way they can escalate it because they can escalate it for you in that. And
What is under the faculty tab?
oh, okay, let me show you that. Yeah, I'm faculty. I used to be full-time faculty, so I've messed around with this a little bit. So the faculty tab is kind of cool. So it shows you various things. The coolest thing I think is you have your logins for your email and Canvas, faculty videos. You have your faculty dashboard, which I'll show you here in a minute. Your current courses, so you could go to like well, apparently not that current on this one, but like fall 2021, it gives you all the classes that
And this is where you'll submit grades, like the
Mhm.
final grades at the end of the semester.
and they'll
This
send
is
a
where you'll go.
help guide too. So like 8 weeks and final for like 16 week and second 8 week, they'll send out like a reminder like, hey, this is how you enter in grades. And they have like a play-by-play in their document. So under active assignments, it gives you all of your assignments from, at least in my case, as far back as 2018. And so you just scroll down. In your case, you guys won't have to scroll this much. So it'll give you like a course list right here. I won't show you that because of FERPA reasons, but it'll give you the course name, the CRN, available for registration, all that good stuff. You can display the schedule. You could click on this and it'll show you like where it fits within the larger schedule and who's teaching and all that other good stuff. If you click class list, it'll give you a detailed class list with C numbers of your students, their names, all that good stuff. And you can look that up whenever those classes are active, and you can see as people are registering, who's registering and all that other good stuff. Another thing that's important, if it's canceled, let me see if I can find one. Yeah, like this one right here. It'll say status canceled, and then you can no longer see the class list because there is no class list at that point. Another cool thing about the faculty dashboard, you have your catalog schedule and calendar links. So if you need to know the important dates for, say, fall 2022, you click here and it gives you all the dates that you need to know, like, well, when are midterms, when are finals, when do classes start, when do second 8-week classes start, stuff like that. When are the breaks, all that good stuff. This is also on the main page as well.
Clovis.edu page.
Mhm. And then assessment, your final grades, and you can mess with the preferences and whatnot. And it'll give you a green check mark if it's been submitted. The only reason it's red here is because it's been canceled and there was nothing to be submitted and all that good stuff. And of course, faculty information, Starfish, library, tutoring, and then all this information that you need to know for various resources on campus. So the faculty tab has a lot in it. So that's why I was kind of surprised you guys didn't have it yet. But if you don't, again, talk to your division chair. We'll also have you talk to the help desk and see if you can get some updates, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
One of the main reasons why I'm nervous about not having the faculty tab is I need to know the standardized syllabus of what all of the, institution requirements are. Is there another
Believe
place
it
to
or
find that?
not, there is another place. See, I feel very important now. Yes. Yeah, I feel very important. Yes, we have it on our webpage and Canvas 101.
Okay.
So you click on Canvas
So you guys are
101.
forced to go there now.
Exactly. So you go start here. Now you have to do this long scroll. I apologize. You scroll all the way down. And I believe it's right here, standardized syllabi under important documents and printouts.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
My second
Yes,
question
ma'am.
was, to get like an updated class roster, is
Mhm.
that Starfish that we'll go over later, or do we do that in?
You can get it in
Canvas?
Starfish, but you can get it in Canvas by going to your faculty tab, clicking on that class list in your course,
Uh-huh.
and you can print off a roster that way.
You can go to your grades,
Yeah,
like you're gonna enter a grade and it has with the.
Okay.
yeah.
So there's a couple ways to do it.
They used to send out printed versions of the roster, but that used to be kind of a pain because people would be changing in and out of classes. What I always recommend when I first started teaching, what I would do is I'd take my roster from Pathway. I'd copy the names and the C numbers, or maybe just the names, just depending on what I wanted to do. And I'd paste it into basically a roster I made in Excel. And then I would update those as I needed. And then that way you have a constant, updated list of students in your class. I know it's kind of an extra step, but it's nice because you can also use it for a sign-in sheet. So you can print that off and just say, hey, all right, sign in for class. And then you can take it and then put the information into Starfish from there. So, yeah, that's one way of doing it. And then you get to know your students too, who hasn't shown up and all that other stuff, and who's who. So
Yeah.
Any other questions? These are great questions, guys, so feel free.
Nope.
No? And I think we're getting close to our time too. So what we can do is show you guys the lab quick, and then we'll bring you guys over to the help desk. So let me close out here. Yeah, I'll bring it to you. Oh, you got it? Okay.